Woman identified as Lucy, who had been missing since January 5th, has been found dead in her apartment along NNPC Road in Asaba, Delta State. The discovery was made by a colleague sent to check on her after she failed to report to work without explanation, according to a Facebook post by Harrison Gwashimu, Senior Special Assistant in Civil Society and Youth Mobilization for the Delta State Governor. The colleague mentioned that her apartment door was locked, and when she peeped through the window, she discovered Lucy's lifeless body. Gwashinu described the scene. On getting there, she said the door was locked and she checked through the window, and what she saw was the lifeless body on the floor, naked and with blood everywhere. Upon investigation, it was discovered that there were marks on her body. Her fingers was cut with a knife and her hair was scattered on the floor, which showed she struggled. Lucy was allegedly murdered in her house. Gwashiu urged the Delta State Police Command, led by CP Abaniwanda, to conduct a thorough investigation and bring the perpetrators to justice. He also advised residents to report any threats to their lives. If anyone threatens your life, please send me a DM. Do not take threat as a minor threat. Take them seriously and report the person, he said. Now, Delta State Police Public Relations Officer Bright Edafe confirmed the incident and stated that an investigation is on the way. Femicide is currently on the rise. Just yesterday, we had a man cut off the head of a lady. Today, we have someone murdered in our apartment. What are your thoughts when you look at this story as regards to
how are we sure this is pure femicide or another criminal act?
Well,
for me, anyway, whether it's femicide or it still boils down to what we said before, the rising state of insecurity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because now, it wasn't stated if anything was stolen from our apartment. Why were her fingers cut? All of that. The story didn't state that her phone is missing, her house was burgled. Do you understand? So why there has to be an intent for someone to go into someone else's apartment and butcher the person out and spread blood everywhere?
Yeah, unfortunately, the information is scanty.
Right.
We don't know if it is a failed a love affair gone sour. We don't know if it is attempt of burglars coming in, maybe meeting frustration, or we just don't know. But one thing we are sure of is that from the news, somebody has lost her life. One thing we are sure of is that insecurity has claimed another life. Right. Which is quite unfortunate. Again, we can't overemphasize the need to improve security around our society, around ourselves as individuals. Just security. We can't get too much of it.
We can't get too much of it. Now, another angle I've looked at this story is this lady last went to her office and her workplace on the 5th of January.
I also commend the office people for making effort.
Now, exactly. While I commend the office people, I want to get your thoughts as regards Africans and Nigerians. We were usually a communal people. Right. You say we usually, back then they would say the society raises a child. The village, the child belongs to the entire community. I think that's why till now when someone is getting married, the umuda and everybody comes to collect their own share of the money because it was a collective effort to raise. Now, why have we become people that probably, if many people will say, I want to stay on my own now. We now have, in recent clients, people will say, I want to be on my own. Ordinarily, I mean, from 5th till today is 15th, it's 10 days. She was found just yesterday.
Yeah, the thing is...
So it's about 10 days. Back in the day, someone doesn't find you. They come to your house. They look for a way to reach you. You have people checking up on you, even though there were no phones. I remember then my dad would send things to my auntie. When my auntie sees anybody entering a boat to come to Port Harcourt from my town, she will send us a love letter. And my mother's sister then will send us a love letter and some bread. Now, people were putting in the effort. Why do you think, how do we even lose that now?
Oh, the thing is that, I don't know, in this particular case also, you wonder, well, that it has been 10 days since they didn't see her in the office may not necessarily mean that the incident happened 10 days ago. It's possible it's recent. From the person didn't talk of stench. If it was 10 days by now,
she was actually, they came yesterday, so she was actually discovered. But that is 10 days. I'm acting as regards family, friends. Do people bother to look for their loved ones?
The place where she lives, is it a private compound or are there neighbors there? I mean, I don't know, but if somebody has struggled to the point, except she was tied, she couldn't shout another, to the point of killing her, cutting her her fingers. Was there no noise made or something? How did the people get into, or the people
brings the question. Probably because everybody is doing, I want to mind my business and stay on my own. Do you think that has helped us in any way?
Yeah, but minding my business is fine, absolutely fine. But that does not take away the fact that I am still human. Man is a social animal. Right. Doesn't take away the fact that if I hear a cry somewhere, an unusual cry, a cry of pain, I won't be bothered to ask what is happening there. Do you understand? At least there is a human thing in me. If I hear a shout, what's that noise for? That noise persists. You may not be able to save the person as it were, but that curiosity would probably lead to a discovery of something wrong. So I don't know the kind of apartment she lives in. It is in a public compound where she has neighbors and streets and all that. And like you said, the family, although maybe 10 days is not a long time for nobody to have called her, depending on the kind of family. I know some families put up a call every day, especially when they live apart, you know, they call themselves every day. But you also have families who, okay, maybe they don't talk to themselves maybe in 2 weeks or something. You know, 2 weeks, somebody just feel like, oh, I've not called, and you call, probably the person don't take the call, you move on with the assurance that everything should be fine, you know. But of course, there is a need to constantly check on ourselves.
Check on ourselves, and
especially
check on our loved ones.
Yeah, there are those that are your loved ones, that checking on them is not a burden to either you or to them periodically. You know that, oh, this person would normally, maybe you have a family WhatsApp group or something, this person would normally make a comment. For some period of time, there has been no comment from this person. What's the matter? Let's check on that person. But what of that person that doesn't make a comment, that can say 1 year without talking, and you call and say, oh, I'm fine, everything is okay, everything is okay.
I feel that even those kind of people do have people that call them.
Maybe yes.
Somehow.
Maybe yes.
Now, when we talked about the compound, I want to rightly reference certain estates, there's certain areas of living. People don't even know the faces of their neighbors.
Yeah, you see, I could live with you in the same not the same apartment, in the same building. I don't know you. I don't probably have much to do with you other than the periodic good morning each time we run into ourselves. But that doesn't take away the fact that if I hear an unusual sound from your apartment, a consciousness will be pricked in me. At times, these things are not love affairs. It's just human. It's not because I have a fantastic personal relationship with you, but it's just human. That's what makes somebody traveling. You see an accident victim or something, you stop. You're not doing it because you know the person or something. It's just human. Do you understand? Right. We grew up with the story of the Good Samaritan. The Good Samaritan didn't know the victim. Right. It was just human, and the ones who acted otherwise were condemned. So at times it's not about minding my business. Say I mind my business, you mind your business, fantastic, but that doesn't change the fact that if I hear a sound, especially if it's an unusual sound, if it's a neighbor that is usually noisy, you hear the noise, you know, maybe blind, you say, oh, that's his or her way. But again, there's a cry of pain, especially for maybe a person living alone. If it's also a couple that are in the habit of constantly fighting and quarreling, it's also possible when you hear that sound, you feel like, oh,
they have started
again.
But should we do that? Should people say they have started again, or it's not my business?
Yeah, but this is a person that lives alone. For a person, from the story suggests she lives alone, a person that lives alone probably wouldn't have had a record of making
a lot of noise. So
yes, so especially in terms of painful cry and other. So I don't know, I can't wrap my head around it. That was there no cry? The fingers was cut, or
it's a rather sad.
There's a lot of questions begging for answers in this case. I think society will be better off if these questions can be reviewed. It will be difficult, but
hopefully the police and the investigation will get to the end of the matter.
There are more answers begging for, or more questions begging for answers.
Thank you.